In 2025, pop culture genuinely felt like it was speed-running chaos. And today we're counting down the wildest moments that had the entire internet losing its mind. I've had a front-row seat to the madness on my timeline, so let's rank the big ones and see which moment truly owned 2025. Number 10, we're starting with the year of the hyper-viral nostalgia mashup. Old songs from decades ago suddenly shot back up the charts because of edits, TikToks, and TV moments.
Pretty lady baby, la la. Pretty lady baby, la la.
Algorithm nostalgia is now more powerful than any traditional marketing. At number 9, the internet's obsession with collectible toys reaching actual riot levels. People were queuing, flipping, and sometimes literally fighting over limited edition drops, turning a cute bit of merch into a full-blown cultural event. Number 8 is the non-stop wave of celebrity rebrands and apology tours. Every month it felt like someone new jumped on camera with a Notes app statement, a podcast confession.
Even backlash, of course they issued an apology.
We just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women. We f***ed it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again.
That was such a weird apology.
Or a carefully staged comeback interview.
She did this interview. What was the outlet? It was like GQ, right? That she sat down with.
The recent one?
This interview that went super viral, especially on the right, because she got asked about the eugenics adjacent nature of the American Eagle ad that she cut. And she said at that point, she was like, when I have something to say on an issue, you'll hear from me. Then her movie that came out totally bombed at the box office. Now she's talking to People magazine, and her tone is a little bit different here, Emily. She says, I was honestly surprised by the reaction. I did it because I love the jeans and love the brand. I don't support the views. Some people chose to connect to the campaign, me being one of those people, but clearly very different tone being struck here, and her wanting to, sort of clean up what I guess she and her PR team.
Coming in at 7, the year's messiest celebrity legal drama.
So yes, Sean Combs was sentenced to 50 months of incarceration and then 5 years of supervised release. What the judge told him is that he will still have a life after this.
Dominating headlines and timelines at the same time. People weren't just watching the court case, they were treating it like a live-tweeted reality show.
I stand 10 toes down. I think this was a miscarriage of justice. I think the jury got it wrong. But the jury was older. They were misogynistic. Another mistake, I believe, okay? Not charging other co-conspirators. It looked crazy for Diddy to be sitting there by himself and claiming a criminal enterprise, okay? And making all the co-conspirators sit there in the court together.
Complete with fan edits and conspiracy threads. Number 6 is the rise of unexpected crossovers and collabs that no one had on their bingo card. Brands, artists, and franchises that made zero sense together somehow teamed up and still managed to sell out everything in seconds. At number 5, reality TV and influencer culture fully merging into one endless pipeline. Contestants, YouTubers, streamers, and TikTokers were bouncing between platforms, dating shows, and brand deals like it was all one big shared universe. Number 4 has to be the massive global impact of a few key TV shows and films that owned the group chat. Every week, there was a new, "You're either watching this or you're out of the conversation" release that launched theories, memes, and think pieces overnight. In third place, the explosion of creator-driven live events and spectacle fights. What started as a novelty is now its own mini-industry, with streaming platforms fighting for rights and fans treating it like the Super Bowl of drama. Runner-up at number 2 is the way music moments from TV and social media took over the charts. One perfect sync in a show or one viral edit could drag an old track into global dominance.
It's murder on the dance floor, but you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down.
Reminding everyone that context sells a song more than a release date. And at number 1, the wildest pop culture moment of 2025 is the realization that the internet now decides what counts as culture, faster than any traditional gatekeeper. One meme, one clip, one unexpected character or object can go from niche to world famous in a weekend, and by Monday, brands are scrambling to catch up. If you're watching this, you lived through all of that in real time, and that's kind of insane when you stop to think about it. Let me know in the comments which moment you think we criminally underrated, and which one you never ever want to relive again. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and send this to the mate who's always 3 weeks behind on memes so they can finally catch up. Thanks for hanging out with me, and here's to this year being slightly less chaotic. Though, let's be real, it probably won't be.